Good evening, everyone. It's Masked Comedian X alongside Big Ace. How you doing, Ace?
Hello.
Holy cow.
Man, sorry. We're running late because I'm running late, but
That's okay.
I had to go buy Goodwill clothes for a bachelor party.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So doing this thing, which, by the way, we have a special guest and he'll be hopping on in just a moment. We are doing, you pick outfit out for someone else going in the bachelor party and you buy it.
Oh my God.
This is,
So you're doing dirt on people?
Well, here's the rule. It has to fit and it can't be cross-dressing. Just because otherwise we're going to just put everybody in dresses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my outfit that was picked out for me is a very nice neon green construction shirt.
Nice.
Hot pink Tommy Hilfiger short shorts.
Okay.
And a suit vest to wear over the neon green shirt.
What color's your suit vest?
It's black.
Oh, nice. Actually, that sounds like it's kind of vomitous.
Yeah, I'm gonna be walking. Well, actually, when I put it on, I looked pretty similar to Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Sweet.
Yeah, it definitely was like an outfit you could see that guy wearing in the show. So,
oh my God.
Yeah. Well, so it'll be good.
Perfect. So what did you buy for your counterpart?
Well, for our groom, the groom to be, we got him some nice 90s denim giant pocket shorts.
Nice.
With we have a shirt for dinner. It's a t-shirt, tuxedo t-shirt we found.
Okay.
And we got a very neon green shirt that says I'm up all night to get lucky.
Oh, nice.
Figured that was appropriate.
Awesome. Well, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest and we'll bring him right on.
Yeah, we got a good guest, my good friend, been friends forever, Mr. Adam Daley from the Hoots Podcast. And to be honest, there's like a big list of other stuff Adam has done, and you've probably seen or heard about it.
Awesome.
But like me and Adam are such just good friends that I kind of, we talk so much personal stuff that we don't talk about what we do in the industry. So honestly, Adam, I can't even give you the list of the stuff you've done.
Nice dog.
It's a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, Piper's she's gonna kind of probably float in and out of the picture a little bit here.
Sweet.
So yeah, listen, I don't do video at all. So this is like this is like my Trish Stratus moment. I think this is coming back out of retirement for a minute. No, yeah, you know what? Right now I'm on the Hoots Podcast with Josh Lopez, and listen, yes. Josh puts so much work into wrestling every week, whether it's through Pro Wrestling Transcriptions, his show, other things that he does. I mean, that he's the star of that show. I'm just kind of there. And my daughter actually does a segment we call Through the Eyes of a 9-year-old, where we bring her on at the end and she kind of talks about what she likes, what she doesn't like, and stuff like that. So that's really my only, unless you count the real estate stuff I do, but that's the only wrestling based stuff that I'm doing right now. So
awesome. Well, we're very happy to have you with us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. This is awesome. It's rare that it is. I don't like this thing, like kind of being trapped in here. It always makes me feel weird. So, but for you guys, anything.
You're awesome. And I tell you what, we're actually just sort of getting used to the whole idea of doing this way. But so far it's working out pretty good. I reckon.
Gorgeous setup.
Yeah. Otherwise, you can see what Ace has in his bedroom, but
living room.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I wish it was on my wall of pops because it would be such a way better background.
Well,
yeah.
So now on mine, I have the AI on the camera, so I can put up whatever I want back there. And of course, this week, I have good old Harley Race, who has since passed. And the reason I have up those two pictures of Harley Race is because those are the ones that I saw. The way that I remember him when I started watching wrestling. So, and now how the heck did I do that? Here we go. I'm just trying to get everything together here, and now we can't do the triple take. I don't want to be in the front. No. Well, all right.
We'll get it back. We'll
figure it out. Oh, wait. Here, we'll do that. There we go. Only took a little bit of monkeying around.
There we go.
But the cool part about this, too, is, Adam, that we can take comments and actually post them right up on the screen as they come in. So
beautiful. Nice.
It's very, very cool. We're on the cutting edge of technology, I might say.
I can tell. I'm still using Spreaker and in stock mics. So
Well, those are still good.
Works. It works.
Still
it
works.
works.
You know, the thing with Adam now that's really cool though is the coolest thing about Adam and I and our friendship is how we all kind of met. Because Adam was in, you know, I feel like I've told this on every show that I've ever had. So why would it be
tell this part of the story? No.
Why would it be any different that we do it on here? But just to give people context that are new to us and new to me, yeah, we have a really cool story. It was WrestleMania 28 in Miami. I was friends with some other people I met at 26 in Phoenix from the UK. We kept in contact. Miami, we were doing a party bus to go to the stadium. Bunch of us were on there, never met before. Meet Adam. It was an interesting situation at that time. Adam actually got married that day.
Oh wow!
While we were on our way to. Sorry, I don't know if you wanted me to say that, but
no. I
just
had a vivid. I thought it was a lucid dream. You know, I had a weird early 2000s, and I thought maybe it was just like a flashback. I have a lot of weird flashbacks. Like I was at the Rumble. At least I thought I was at the Rumble that Benoit won. But then they tell me it didn't happen. So I question things. So the 28, I don't know if it was real or if I was with some ghosts. I think, like Marty, all my friends are dead.
Right, exactly. But either way, you ended up making some good friends from it.
Some fantastic friends, yes, sir.
Yeah, so I mean, that's where we hit it off. And I mean, to be honest, Adam and I have only been in the same room together, I think 2 or 3 times in our friendship, which has been since WrestleMania 28.
Holy cow.
A few years, for sure. But the great thing is, this is a dude that I can talk to about wrestling, of course, but it's gone past that. Like, this is somebody that I go to in personal stuff. So, I mean, this is a good friend of mine, and I'm psyched that he is on it because I know he doesn't like doing video either. So I'm very glad to have him.
Yeah. So he might be a kind of guy that you would call and say, hey, what should I put back behind my video set? Because this looks bad.
I know. I need to like hang the sheet up I was talking about though, where I can like put a logo on there. That, or I need to just get what you have going on.
To be fair, Adam, I'm down in my room, and the first one we did is horrible looking. I mean, it looks like I just fell into somebody's basement and said, hey, why don't I do this from here? But still put on a mask because that's classy.
Yeah, dude. I was actually teasing Ace. I told him I was going to put a hood on for the show, and he was like, whatever you want to do. And I was like, nah, I won't. But, I was looking for a decent backdrop. Like where I wanted to do it in my kitchen, our floor's kind of tilted, so the screen was going to look like crooked, and everywhere else kind of looks like a kill room. I feel like, so it's like this was the most bland generic thing I could do.
Nice.
Well, we're happy to have you with us. Now, I don't know about you. One of the things about Harley Race, and a lot of people talk about this, and one of the things is, they always say Hulk Hogan was the first guy to ever slam Andre, and that's not true. Because I'll pop this up. Harley Race, there he is. Boom. Harley Race slammed Andre in 1979. And it's just, one of those things. But I was watching that last night, and holy cow, it's on NWA On Demand, and there's no commentary. So it's absolutely fascinating to watch 2 out of 3 falls. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but I will. Harley Race shows his genius as it's tied 1-1, and they both go out of the ring, and he holds on to Andre's legs and does not allow him to get back in the ring. It's a double count out. It's a draw, and Harley Race retains his NWA title. Fascinating.
Harley was always the king.
Oh my gosh. But I'll tell you, when I first saw him, he was the young fella that's on the left of my background. And then he got the scary mutton chops, which, to be honest, scared the crap out of me when I was young. And he went on, and as I've told Ace many times, I watched Central States all through my high school years because I'm an old bastard. Anyway,
I'm knocking on 40. I think we're close there, probably.
Yeah. Well, let's just see. I'm going to pop up another little overlay here. This is from 1979. The program. I've told Ace that I was fortunate enough. My aunt took me to Haystacks Calhoun versus Baron von Raschke. And in this lovely program. There's, of course, Harley Race, the NWA champion. Bulldog Bob Brown up in the top right, who was one of my favorites. Andre, and a fella named Tom Andrews, who looks very much the way that Lee Marshall probably would look if he was a wrestler.
I'm always fascinated when I get to listen. See, like Adam and I, we go to a lot of shows, have in our past and all that, but like it's rare to talk to somebody who's gotten to go to some of these like classic shows with people who you don't get to hear names about. I know Adam is personally a big Henning mark for the whole family. You know what I mean? So like when I told him that I met Larry once, which I am the worst friend ever because I've been holding on to a Larry the Axe Henning autograph to Adam for like the last 4 years.
Oh my gosh!
Still haven't mailed it.
Well, I'll tell you. Do you want to hear a Kurt Hennig story?
Oh, absolutely!
My gosh! All right. So this happened in Fargo, North Dakota, when I was in the radio business up there, and Eddie Sharkey contacted one of our advertising reps and said, "Hey, we're going to put a show on." And they did it at a place called the Playmakers Pavilion, which was kind of a big hall, and they'd put some sort of B-name bands in there. And he says, "Oh yeah, let's do a show. It'll be on Tuesday." I don't remember the entire card, but the main event was Mean Mike Enos, who went ahead and went by his name, and Kurt Hennig, who would not let them say his name. He refused. Nope, I can't. Now, to be honest, I can't remember if he was working for WWE at the time. This would have been about 1993, 94 in that neighborhood.
I feel like he was doing the perfect gimmick then, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm trying to think when the separation was when he left, because he was doing commentary before he left because he hurt his back, right?
Yeah, and that was right when like Raw was in their first year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Or second year?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So the match starts, an ordinary match. They're doing what they should be doing. They go out onto the floor. And there are probably, to be honest, if they're lucky, 40 people there. The Playmakers Pavilion has set up a bar, but it's not like a real bar. It's like a big card table, like you put people through the table, and they've got all their liquor and beer on these tables. And Hennig and Enos go out, and they're going all over the place, and they're breaking all the bottles. I mean, they're busting the shit out of everything. And they're both bleeding, and there's liquor all over the floor, and they get back in the ring. And I as I recall, Enos went over, and everybody was happy that was there. The only one that wasn't happy was the guy that owned Playmakers, but he's like, "Holy shit, I'm out like $5,000 worth of liquor." But that was one of the most fun things, and I loved it because Kurt Hennig would not allow him to say his name, regardless.
That's great.
Dude, there's a lot of crazy stories that I've heard of people with Kurt Hennig, just because being in Minnesota, like I've talked to people who are like, "Oh, I went fishing with him once," and then they start telling stories. It's like, oh
yeah,
okay.
I saw him one time coming back from the airport, and he had called back. This is back when there were payphones, and he had called somebody and was apparently didn't get the answer he want, and he took the handset and smashed the shit out of it and broke the entire payphone. And I was like the only one in the wing other than him, and I just like didn't say nothing because I didn't want to get my ass kicked.
Do you know how the payphone broke?
It was because he hit the hand like he was hanging it up, but smashed the shit out of the handset on.
I think it broke because it broke perfectly. That's why it broke.
Well,
and there you go.
Yep.
There you go. Holy cow!
I have a couple softballs there.
We got to do it. So anyway,
yeah. Has everybody
go
been
ahead.
paying any attention to these go home shows for SummerSlam?
I'll say this. I watched last night. I'll give you my up and my down because there was a lot of stuff. And to be honest, I thought it was overall okay. My big up was, even though I knew it was coming, when Goldberg came down, I was like, oh yes, because I'm an idiot. And my big down was that carnival of, I don't know what you would call it, that was the women's tag match. I get it, but it was like, haven't seen any of them for months, seems like, and all of a sudden, let's just do this. So I was just a little bit down on that, and to be honest, I am such a fan of Asuka. I wanted them to win, so of course I was disappointed. I if anybody else was going to win, Bliss and Nikki are fine with me, but Asuka's just getting screwed.
Yeah,
so that's my up and down.
You don't think it's the language barrier, though?
It is.
You know what? It probably is, but because she's so good.
Agreed, but to us, because we're in that cylinder, right? We're in the wrestling cylinder. If you take just a generic random person off the street, they're going to say, who is this chick that's screaming, half English into the microphone? And I think that, honestly, I that was my concern with her and Nakamura when they were in NXT. And I took a lot of heat because I was pretty vocal about it. It's not that I love them both. It's not, I wasn't like wishing them, I was very concerned that not for us, we were always going to love them, but that somebody once called him like Joe Walmart, that kind of fan, versus like the casual, viewer. Were they going to attach onto the character? And I was concerned about it. And I agree. I think she's been extremely underused, I don't want to say misused, but heavily underused. I'm just wondering where the disconnect came, because she went from being so white hot to just nothing.
Right. Yeah. Right. She's getting WrestleMania main event matches. Well, not main event, but main event matches. And now nothing. But the thing with me that I agree with all that, but I'm happy to also to see that they're doing something with the Bliss and Cross thing, because it was getting really weird that those two were still friends. Like there should have been either a crossover or, again, the championship should be put on them, which it was now. But I'm glad that that's happening. Adam and I have talked about it. Like, we're both fans of Nikki Cross. She's awesome. And I like how she plays like the, naive little bunny to Alexa Bliss.
She's Katie Heron.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I just love Alexa Bliss. That's just how that goes. So
yeah, I think we all do.
Yeah, but I like it. But you feel bad. I feel bad for Paige too. Mm-hmm. She's a fan favorite, and this is what they've reduced her to: is she's managing Kairi-san and Asuka, and they're not doing anything with any of them. So I feel like if it keeps going this way, I feel like they're going to get sent back to NXT.
Well, and here's the thing too about Paige. She's so good on the mic, and yet they barely let her talk now.
Right? You think they're mad? Fair. Maybe like the movie didn't do as good as they thought, or something.
I went and saw it in theaters. I
did too. I was by myself. A very, very low point for me. Me and one other dude.
My daughter and I went, so it was cool. No, I actually really don't know. I think we have the potential to see a little bit more going forward, because I think these past couple of months, at least I'm usually wrong 99% of the time, so don't take anything I say worth a damn. But I just almost feel like now that we're starting to see the changeover in the show, now that Heyman and Bischoff are starting to get a little more involved. Someone told me Bruce Pritchard's back too. Mm-hmm. So it feels like they're trying to escape what they were in. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of characters kind of got pigeonholed in that time frame. And it might not be the cleanest, but it seems like they're just trying to either tie up loose ends or just hit total reboots without us, realizing it. Chad Gable was one for me that was just like, I didn't even know who it was. I thought it was Charlie Haas came back from it.
Oh my
gosh. But I at least that's where I feel that they're at right now.
Well, and you wonder too, because you hear news like today earlier before they actually went live with SmackDown that 2 hours prior to Vince scrapped the whole show and rewrote it. So you wonder, like, are these people getting chances? And then when it just comes down to showtime, Vince just scraps everything. Is it still because everything still goes through him, they're saying. So they're doing these moves to try to make the product better, but are they really, when he still has the final word and does things like this where a planned show 2 hours before going live on national TV gets scrapped and has to be rewritten?
That's dangerous.
And what they were saying too, that like one of the head writers last week was reduced to basically just typing whatever Vince was saying. So I mean, it's like you're not using your team to their potential.
Here's the thing: as a public company, at some point, the numbers are gonna they can only make up excuses about the numbers for so long, and the stock's gonna go down, and that's how it'll work. I mean, clearly the McMahon family are still majority owners, but that worth is going to go down so much. They're not going to be able to do this when they go over to Fox. Yeah. I mean, they're just not.
Yeah, but the one thing about Fox that's I heard the rumor is that the fist is coming back. So, I mean, I'd be all for that.
That'll solve all sorts of problems.
It will. Just bring the fist back on the stage.
On the stage fist? I'm like, who is he talking about?
No, they're saying they're bringing the fist back for the stage.
I missed something online.
He said the fist. I think he's talking about Ox Baker.
Oh, God.
Bring back that hard punch, baby.
Right. What do you guys think about Goldberg, though? I mean, obviously, that's just a cheap thing to get the fans back. But
I think it's a way for him to, after that fiasco in Saudi, I think it's a way for him to go out on a little bit better note.
I think he just needs to realize. I think he just needs to realize he sucks, and he shouldn't be coming back. Like it may go better just because he's going to be with Dolph Ziggler, but Dolph Ziggler is the selling machine. Like he'll make anybody look good.
Yeah,
well, you know what I mean. Like, but I hate Goldberg though. Like I hate Goldberg. So why are you wasting my time? You're wasting a nice SummerSlam spot on this dude. Really?
You know what? I actually was, because I don't read any dirt sheets. I don't read any reports. I stay away from that because it enhances my wrestling experience, because I like letting them tell the story, not dirt sheet writers, because dirt sheet writers, pardon my line. Are we allowed to swear on here?
Yeah.
They're full of shit. They're all full of shit. They all think they have they all think they have ins and networks and this and that. And half the time they're getting swerved by the people they think they're getting info from. So I don't necessarily believe. Now, obviously, like I see the Mox shirt. I got to point it out. When like somebody like Moxley goes on to Jericho's podcast and stuff like that, I'll take that with I'll take that with a little bit more of a grain of salt, so to speak, and kind of go with that. Now, everything else I just stay away from, so that way when Raw and SmackDown happen, I'm not getting it spoiled before I watch it, So, and last night was in Pittsburgh. I live in Pittsburgh, like legit, probably 5 minutes from the arena. This was the first event in a long time that I regret not going to. And out of the last 4 times I've been in Pittsburgh, we've gone 2 of the 4 times. And like, we went to the two shitty shows, and the 2 good shows we didn't go to. We're like, oh man.
Well, you know what I love is you went to the Rumble, like the Rumble, where the crowd turned because Brian didn't come out.
And the night I was cosplaying as Seth Rollins, standing next to Seth Rollins and not realizing it because I was too busy marking out for Punk like an idiot. Yeah, that night. Okay. So, but with Goldberg, and here's what my life is so weirdly busy, and it's not that I'm important at all, but my life's just all over the place. And so I realistically, in a way, kind of forget about what happens from week to week. Like once I do the podcast with Josh, it's kind of like I reset myself. So I kind of forgot about Ziggler running his mouth about Goldberg these past couple weeks. So that entire segment for me actually kind of had me on. I'm not gonna lie, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I popped because I thought it was HBK. Again, I'm actually not a big Goldberg fan either, but I did pop for Goldberg. I thought it was cool. I really was happy that Pittsburgh gave him a good ovation, because we're not a good crowd here. we're not a good crowd at all. So at least that final hour, it seemed like they were kind of playing into the show a little bit, But I would, because I didn't see it coming, I liked it. Now, if I would have been reading dirt sheets and would have known it was Goldberg coming out or whatever, it would have been like, well, here comes Goldberg. You know what I mean? So you're already, I'm already taking the surprise away from me. So I guess that's where it was kind of cool. Because I was sure that it was HBK.
Yeah,
I was really hoping, because that would be an amazing match. Well, again, Ziggler can make anybody look good, but I mean, when you're with Shawn Michaels, and I mean, even at his age now, those two would put on a clinic.
But tell me now, the cherry on top of that whole Sunday for me was when HBK gave him the sweet chin music at the end. That really made me just giggle.
Yeah. And for me, it actually finally completed it. To me, it felt like it completed a show. A lot of times they end the show and we're like, okay, and I'm usually pretty probably overly good on WWE with their programming, and I don't, beat them down too much. But I'll admit the past couple of months have been sketchy. Last night, at least for me, it felt like a complete show. I was, usually we skip through and kind of get through in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And last night, my daughter was tired. She went to bed, and we were only halfway through the show. I was like, whoa, like we really weren't skipping through things. Now, granted, we'll get to, I guess, some of the other show probably later, but I actually liked a lot of, even like the cheesiness with like Reigns and Joe and stuff like that. I'm digging a lot, which we found out different stuff tonight, but I really dug everything they did last night in Pittsburgh. I don't know. And I know I'm probably in a minority and all the internet hate's going to come my way, but
I don't, there's so many good things that they're doing right now. Like the Street Profits. Holy cow, are those guys entertaining? Love them. I can't wait till they get in the ring with somebody.
Montez Ford looks like a Wayne brother, doesn't he?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he does.
That face.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like what they're doing with those guys. And it's going to be interesting to see how they end up getting played into the ever-changing tag division they have going on in both shows. So that'll be an interesting thing to see. I'm excited for that because I feel like, too, tag-wise, you got the Revival. And again, I'm spitballing over both shows right now, probably. But you got like the Revival, the Usos, the New Day. Like you've had the same tag teams for the last few years. And yeah, the Revival was kind of probably not getting what they were deserved, but now they are. But it'll be interesting to see where the Street Profits get stuck in here, if who they're gonna feud with, if they're gonna get title shots pretty close to when they get their first match or what. So I'm interested to see where they go with it. Or if they just don't do anything and send them back to NXT for their.
I just hope they don't make them into a comedy act. You know, I mean, they're so entertaining and so funny, but it's like, please let them do something.
Right.
Now I have to ask, because again, I didn't watch everything last night and I didn't get to watch tonight. So was there any furthering of the storyline for the Canelo? I know that she's not the champ and I know he got it and then it went back to R-Truth, but was there any further development with Braun in that situation? Because I'm still sticking to my guns that Braun's going to come out as the daddy.
Nope.
Oh,
it might come out down the line, but nothing last night.
Because last week there was that moment with them backstage, and we talked about it on last week's show. I don't know if you probably saw it, Adam.
Yep.
Where the whole like, oh, you enjoy making them, but you don't stick around. Show me what kind of monster you are, and it was just really vague. To where I was like, dude, like he's gonna be the baby daddy. They did it with Kane. Why not him? So
fair point.
I was just wondering if I do like that she did lose the title again at her OBGY.
It was just beautiful. I mean, I wanted her to hold it longer, but it was beautiful.
Then I like that Truth was in drag.
Well, I was actually going to bring it up. I liked it. Truth and Carmella. Carmella always dresses as the dude, and Truth always dresses as the chick.
Yeah. Do we see Carmella getting her hands on that title eventually, though? Like, when is that happening?
I want to throw a name out there and see what you guys, not to overtoss you, but you remember, speaking of Braun, let's bring this all together. Braun was tag team partners and went with, what was his name? Daniel, the little kid?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he just did an interview on WWE.com or something like that.
Daniel?
And yeah. So they're like, oh, so what are your plans? And I guess he was just like a whatever, maybe partial promo, whatever you're going to get out of however old he is,
Right.
Do we maybe see him win that championship?
Oh God,
I don't know. I mean, what's his ties is what? He had like one of his dad works for the company.
I think his dad's a referee. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Man, I don't know. I mean,
and I didn't know about this. My daughter actually thought it was.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, then let's just break Izzy into the business right now, then and let her win it.
Oh God. all I can tell you is, Adam, you don't know this. For whatever reason, at some point in my career, R-Truth has blocked me on Twitter. I don't even know why. And so, I mean, it's awesome to have that much beef with a big WWE star, but I don't even know really why.
Ryback blocked me one time, and then I didn't know why. Then unblocked me. So I think we're cool again. I like Ryback though, so I do have a lot of respect for Ryback. It's as a businessman, so it's. Yeah. But I was blocked. It's funny sometimes. I think we probably all just fall into sometimes just by accident, maybe, you know?
Yeah. Like I talked about it before where Kevin Owens blocked me on Twitter and I was just like, what? I love you though. What did I do? You know, like it was pretty devastating, but like, it's, yeah, like I said, I think I can follow him and do stuff and talk to him again now. So it's like, that's weird. I don't know. Maybe there's somebody at the WWE headquarters who runs their Twitters and they're just like, you know what? You get blocked for a little while just to feel special. I mean, why not? But yeah, who knows? But what's going on with Owens and Shane?
That was a good segment tonight. Not to ruin it for you, but
Go ahead.
Owens really, it started out as a civil kind of discourse, and Owens was giving him a lot of crap about not having balls to put his own career on the line. At this point, it's still not. But then Elias came out and sideswiped him, and Owens was sticking up for himself pretty good. And then Shane got him underneath the table and blah, and started doing violent, evil things to him. But, you know, I got to think at some point that Shane's got to put his career on the line, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in order to, because it just seems like if that's the case, I don't even know why that's a match. If I win, you're done. If you win, well, I'll pat you on the back. You know, so, but I thought it was good. And again, I think Owens is holy cow, is he doing a good job? Just he's the to me, he's the bright shining star on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. Which he should have been this whole time. That's
okay.
I mean, he's had some good spots while being on the roster. I mean, I don't think anything. What he's doing now is probably the best he's done, I think, for him. But close second will always be him and Jericho and the best friends. And the whole, what is it? You're the goat. You're the donkey. Like, I still laugh at that. But, like, he just, so many things that made him do. And, I mean, when you watch that documentary and he goes backstage and he looks at Vince and he just gets the head and the shaking no and he's just, like, devastated. It's just like, come on, man. This guy is just money. Let him go. Let him do what he could do, and you will be getting the ratings. You'll be getting the people talking. Like, just let him go. And it's nice that they are finally doing that. I mean, I feel like it took AEW to make that happen, but
yeah, I think the pressure from AEW is definitely, and even though I feel that's still more at the NXT level, it's forcing them to change their programming up a little bit, you know, and which is good. Now, here's in X, you're right. Fantastic segment. But I'm in X, you'll know what I'm talking about. Ace, I'm going to spoil something for you. The one thing, and I love Shane McMahon, but I can't do t-shirts with buttons on them. I have an issue with dudes that wear t-shirts with buttons on them because it looks really ridiculous. Like, he looked like Popeye the Sailor got his tattoos removed and doesn't have a corncob pipe anymore.
So is he just saving the actual jerseys for the pay-per-views? Is that what's going on? Like,
no, this is casual wear for Shane O'Mac. You know, just the 3 button right there. So, you know, when you open up, it looks.
Oh yeah, okay, I know.
It looks like game blouses. You know, it just doesn't even look right.
Something out of like Zoolander. Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
Perfect.
And I think they're at the point now where I think they're realizing they might need to pull back or actually just take Shane off TV for a little while.
Let me ask you guys a question about the whole Shane situation. X, I want to hear your take on this first. Yeah. Do you like Shane's character right now?
Right now, no.
Okay, Ace.
I don't mind it. I mean, I like that he's gone back heel because he came in, he was face, and he's been face till just recently, and it was getting kind of annoying. Of like, okay, we're gonna just see him like when they did that the stupid tournament. Was it Crown Jewel?
Yeah,
They did that tournament where he ended up being the greatest. Like right there is where it was like, okay,
best in the world.
Oh yeah, that's it, the best in the world. But my thing with that is, and Adam, you'll I'm sure have something to say about this.
It was probably my follow-up question, so go ahead.
You can't tease best in the world like
Thank you.
heavy like that if you don't have that ace in your pocket, which is CM Punk.
So-
Because it just seems like they are trying to goat him into doing it, because let's be honest, they know AEW's reached out, especially now when they see he signs on for StarCast. So you don't think they're going to talk to him that weekend in Chicago and be like, come on, bro, let's at least have a meeting?
That's actually what I was going to ask you guys, because for me, I actually like Shane as a heel because he's kind of taken his dad's persona from the late 90s, early 2000s. My only criticisms of it were, you criticize fans for constantly talking about CM Punk. You criticize fans for chanting CM Punk's name. And I know I'm a Punk mark and people are going to knock me for this, but that's not why I'm saying this. I want the crowd chants to stop. I don't want to hear in a women's tag team match, I don't want to hear people chanting CM Punk anymore. I didn't want to hear it when AJ Lee was wrestling. I don't want to hear it when, Alexa Bliss is wrestling. So for all the tedious ways that WWE has tried to make us all forget about CM Punk, now you're going to try to re-own the moniker that is going to get every crowd chanting CM Punk again. So I guess the question I was going to ask you guys, which was the follow-up, is, do you think that's doing them any good, or are they kind of shooting themselves in the foot with it? Because sometimes you think you're doing something, or you're trying to take it back, or, so that way this superstar can't use this nickname anymore, or whatever. And it kind of backfires. Like, I think Vince is far above and beyond where I'll ever be financially, but I do think he probably misspoke when he called AEW, potential competition or possible competition, because you've already basically said they're competition, or else you wouldn't have brought them up.
Right.
You just keep them out of your mouth. So in a way, why they could have called him anything else in the world, why use that? And you're right, unless you're going to bring back CM Punk, but even as big of a Punk fan as I am, do we want that? And I don't want to even think about that. He's away. He's gone. He's not in the universe, so we don't have to worry about that. So I guess the question I have for you guys, do you think is part of it because of the whole best in the world gimmick? If he was just heel Shane and maybe had a different gimmick where, but is it like the best in the world a little bit? Or
for me, it is a little bit. It's more the fact that it, to me, feels very old. And the reason it feels old is, Ace and I talked about this a little in one of the other ones. It's old in the fact that back in the territory days, if you ran the promotion and you own the promotion, you put the damn title on yourself. And then you're on everything, even though you don't deserve to be Vern Gagne. And that's how it feels to me right now with Shane. It's like, I don't need to see Shane. I mean, and I can't remember how long ago. I don't need to see Shane for 40 minutes on Raw at the beginning of the show before there's even a match. I don't need to see him dicking around for 40 minutes. I don't think anybody likes it.
I think watching, like you said, it's kind of like he's taking on Vince's persona a little bit from back in the day. But my thing is, Stephanie, I feel, did such a good job taking that role that he used to do when she was the authority, and even now still kind of when she's on screen, that honestly, I just want him to be like, I'm with the fam. I want it to be like back when they were doing that, when the McMahon, him and Steph were working together and they were working with Dad, and that's my thing. I grew up, everybody has the original Vince character as, Junior. He was always there with his dad, when he did the Rumble, he was the one chasing him. Chase that chicken, Dad, get that chicken, whatever. And so for me, if you want to have this natural progression in the storyline for his character, he should now be stepping into Vince's shoes as Stephanie has. And it should be more that, where I don't feel it's that. I feel he's just kind of a dick and cocky, but no, I want him to own that name and be like, no, I'm a McMahon, damn it. You know what I mean? And I mean, he has the Stooges, I guess you could say, although they're not really Stooges if you really look at it. It's Drew McIntyre, Elias, and Lashley, which, Patterson and Briscoe. Sorry, guys, but you can't really compare as far as what they could do with those guys, even though I do love you, Jerry. You're the man. But I feel I want to see him actually own up to that and be like, I'm a McMahon, damn it. And I don't think we get enough of that right now. Let me pitch an idea to you. Do you think that, and I'm probably just fantasy booking, so I'm just, hear me out. It's probably just a wasted idea, but do you think that that might be down the line and they're just waiting for the right point? And I would say that maybe Kevin Owens is the only one putting something on the line, because we're forgetting he's a Triple H guy.
This could, I mean, you could really, if they wanted to, they could ignite a Shane versus Triple H power struggle, you know?
Yeah.
And Stephanie kind of stays on the outside, but then you don't know whose side she's really on later on down the line. You know, I mean, we've seen that kind of thing before with the invasion angle. I know we've seen it, you know, a couple different times, but we haven't seen it with this generation, like with the next generation, so to speak, you know?
Well, and the other thing too that kind of pisses me off is when he came back and made the big return. When what was it? They were giving Stephanie was giving Vince the Man of the Year or some BS award, and the whole, you know, you got in some trouble, Dad, and I had to bail you out, and there were documents signed, and she don't know about that yet. You know, like they teased this whole thing and never ever did anything with it. And it's like I'm still sitting here like, well, what did Vince do? Why did he have to bring Shane back in? I want to know.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, like that was the big thing, and they just never did anything with it because that could have inspired that power struggle with him and Steph and Triple H. And then they just nope. Instead, you get Undertaker, and you're going to fall off the cage to try to give Foley a run for his money. That's it. What the shit? And then the we're going to give you a try on Raw next week. Yeah, you know we're going to give you another try. You know what? You get SmackDown that like just there was no rhyme or reason. But I love Shane. I do love Shane, but
you know, I mean, here's the thing: if it made more sense to me, but it's just so it's just too much time.
Well, and right now too with Kevin Owens, I feel Kevin Owens is doing that best representation of this era's Austin right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'd like to see Shane go more into the role of his father used to do when he was doing this stuff with Austin. You know, I want to see him be more of that company man and not just be out there to be like, yeah, I'm the best in the world.
Yeah, he's out there for himself at this point, not for the company.
Yeah, which although if they ever brought Punk back, that would be the perfect one, you know, as far as the recreating Austin McMahon.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So one of the other main things that happened tonight is that it was revealed that the person that knocked all the stuff onto Roman and hit the car was none other.
Did they?
Rowan. Turn that M upside down, baby, from Roman to Rowan.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, Rowan?
Mm-hmm.
Luke Rowan, right? Rowan Harper. What is his name again?
Eric Rowan.
Eric Rowan. Why can I? That just shows you how much I paid attention to those two. I never was a fan. I think as soon as the Wyatt family ended, I was just like, yeah, they're screwed.
I think I liked Harper because he's a big Mallrats mark. So I think that's
wow. Okay. Well, because I had seen that people were taking like, oh, it's going to be Buddy Murphy or whatever.
Now, the interesting part is that they really did a good job playing into that because Roman cleared the locker room except for Buddy Murphy and gave him a nice stern talking to, which developed into getting his ass kicked. And then he finally spilled it that it was Rowan.
Now,
did Rowan own up to it too on the episode?
No. The way that it ended, Rowan and Brian were in the ring because they just finished a match, and they showed Roman's face pondering on the Titantron. Pondering.
Do you guys like these cliffhanger endings?
I like them because it reminds me of how it used to be.
Yes.
Because you want it now. It's like I want to see what happens next week.
Exactly.
I want to see where this is going. So for me, this is much better than as little as a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, there were pay-per-views this year that the go-home shows were awful. There was no production or helping to produce what was going to happen at that next show, the big show. There was just somewhere it was just like, okay. So I guess we're just going to go by that match card. You guys aren't going to do anything to really further these storylines. But I mean, you also got 2 pay-per-views a month now. So every 2 weeks there's a big show. So I get it. But yeah, I do. I like the cliffhanger though, because it brings you back to that Austin era, the Attitude Era where, you know, oh my God, no, it ended. What? No. And
I like it because for a while it felt like they were in a pattern that they were ending with a match. And not that I'm not, you know, that's not my criticism, but it always felt like it was more of a house show match, you know, and it was almost like they didn't think, you know, and they were running over 11, and I'm sure USA probably wasn't happy with that. Cause I know, you know, a lot of for a lot of months there, it just felt like that end segment just never really stuck. And I like when there's a mix of sometimes it's the drama or the entertainment, style ending. And like a 50-50 split or however, and I hate that I said that because now people are going to go 50-50 booking, and it's like not what I meant. But I know how the internet is. But no, I like when they mix it up so that it's not the same every week, because it was to a point where once you got to the last match, I knew it just hit fast forward till the finish, and then it now I can't do that. Right, because I have to see all the little intricacies that are going on. Even in Heyman's promo this week, like you said, like vague little things that they've said, I felt that he was almost advocating for Seth Rollins this week, not Brock Lesnar, Mm-hmm. So it's placed enough doubt in my mind that, okay, so what is going to happen on Sunday? So maybe a match that I'm a Rollins guy, so I mean, I was going to be interested anyway, but a match that maybe, if you're tired of Lesnar, some aren't, some are, it does, I don't know what the vibe is right now, but at least for me, they're adding that extra layer of, okay, this might go a different way than what you were thinking,
I feel, and and like that's the other thing. Back in the day with that runoff time, you always knew. It's 10 o'clock. We still got like 10 more minutes. Something crazy is gonna happen, and it was like every week something crazy would happen right at the end. And then like lately, it's just an extra 10 minutes of the match. Someone wins, goes over, end the show. You know what I mean? Which is probably why USA was like, okay, yeah, you're not doing anything with this, and viewership's going down. Give us that time back.
When did they stop the runoffs or the runovers?
3 months ago, 4 months ago now.
Was it when the stocks dropped?
I think so. It was a USA call or an NBC Universe call. They were the ones that were like, "Hey, we aren't going to do this anymore. You're done at 10." Like it was them. It wasn't WWE that made that decision.
I didn't think so. Yeah. Because I noticed it like. Obviously for me, I'm East Coast, it's 11 or whatever, but I always DVR and skip through, but I noticed it was never going past that. I always used to have to set like an extra 15 minutes, then sometimes a half an hour, because WrestleMania season, they might go like 20 minutes past. Right. You never know what, it was like, there were years where you really had to tune in till the very end, but I was surprised when they cut it back. I was also surprised to see the stock drop like $25 since the end of April though too. So
yeah, I mean, it's just a crazy, crazy time right now. I mean, it really is. You got the independent scene is just blowing up. AEW, which is a great thing. AEW is, you keep wanting to say it's all right. Eventually, this wave they're riding is going to end, and it will eventually. But I mean, like even they were surprised they sold out Washington D.C. But I also don't think they understand how many people want to be in that building and be a part of the very first. I mean, the last time this has happened was what, Nitro with the Mall of America?
Yeah.
Really? The last time we've had a big premiere for a wrestling show?
Yeah. I was hoping to forget about Mall of America, but yes. Oh, it's in Minnesota. Shit, I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Horrible sandwiches suck. No, I'm kidding.
It was a horrible show. Like Lex Luger comes out for no reason at all. And
that's what turned me off of it. Yep.
It was like, what the hell is this? But it was just cool to be like, hey, I've been in that mall.
I didn't get to talk to you about this, and so I want to start with X on this. And what do you, because he's wearing an AEW shirt, he's wearing a mock shirt, so I got to ask, what do you guys think of AEW right now? Because I totally dig everything that they're doing, but I'm wrong all the time.
I dig everything they're doing. I felt like Fight for the Fallen was a little bit of a letdown, to be honest. I mean, it was still good, but it wasn't at the same level. So I mean, but I'm still forgiven, because it's like I know what happens to me when I go out and start doing stuff that's new. It's like you got to get your feet under you. So I'm going to give them a little bit of a pass. I'm excited to see what they do with TV. They're going to do 2 hours. And it's all going to be live, I guess. So I have a feeling I'll continue to give them a pass, because they're going to have to get that all ironed out before it's perfect. Because unless they're doing practices that we don't know about. But I mean, I'm just excited for everything they do. And to be honest, some of the stuff that's even a little bit hokey, I don't care about.
I agree.
It's like Luchasaurus. It's like, dude, you're in a dinosaur outfit, but it doesn't make any difference to me, because it's like, it's cool, It's like, and if Luchasaurus was in WWE, I would think it was the dumbest shit I ever saw.
Right. And that's what's unique about this, because if we said, hey, so I've been watching WWE and you guys aren't going to believe it, but Luke Perry's son has been riding a dinosaur that it has a like double degree or something like that, like double degree or something. So people would be like, excuse me? Like, what are you talking about? But it works for them. You're right. Like, I feel like because we still want them to keep that independent feel, we let them slide on a lot of things. I really, that was awesome. Yes.
Well,
that's how I feel.
I feel like too that they can get away with being passionate more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like WWE is WWE. It's the machine. It has been for years. It's top of the game. But over there, the passion shows. Like, these guys are wrestlers and they want to be just doing what they can. They want to have fun doing it. They want to be putting on the best shows they can. So they're going to do that. So that's the interesting dynamic, is seeing wrestlers work together with other wrestlers to put on this great company. And that's what you're getting right now. And again, like you said, it does. It just, everything works. You know, Darby Allin, who would have thought he'd just blow up like he did in the last 2 shows they've had? And he has. He's a huge name now with these guys, and there's real no rhyme or reason. Dude paints acid face and he's crazy. You know what I mean? Joey Janela, which on the indie scene, amazing guy, but WWE standards would never probably get a shot.
Right.
And here he is. He's one of their stars. You know, I do think that WWE is kicking themselves in the ass now that they've seen MJF. And they're like,
absolutely.
Why did we not get that guy?
But is he as effective in WWE though?
He wouldn't be the same.
No, because they wouldn't let him do what he does. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, this guy's dropping F-bombs in their, after show press conferences, at the media, and it's just great.
Do you guys like those? How they do like the New Japan style?
I do.
I do too.
The scrums, is that what they call them?
Yeah.
Scrums or something.
I end up watching them after, whenever they post them, and I just it's almost for me like I get to relive what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And to me that's kind of a cool thing that I don't know. I don't think WWE ever really did anything like that. I mean,
they tried to for like 2 months. Remember there was one where I just specifically remember the Shield doing like a post.
Oh, WrestleMania 30.
Yeah, and like Ambrose was sleeping on, or not Moxley now, but he was just sitting there, his head was just down like that, like he was all exhausted, and they did it for a couple pay-per-views, but they just let it go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was weird though, because you could tell there wasn't like an actual media in there. You could tell it was just WWE people in the room asking them the questions they wanted to ask. Mm-hmm. Where like, this is cool. They feel, and it feels like a sport now, which I think that's the big thing that people, you need that with a new product, because you already have this thing of it's fake. Casual fans, or just people who aren't really, all they know is it's wrestling, it's fake. That's stupid, it's fake. All right, well, great, but now it's being treated like a sport. And then like even the time limits, the 10 minutes remaining in the match, like I love that they do that. Mm-hmm. Like I really do.
Since in speaking of that Harley Race and Andre match that I watched, that was part of it. There was no commentary, as I mentioned, but you could hear the ring announcer saying 10 minutes. Oh,
that's awesome.
Right.
I mean, it's like that's, but I think now I got myself off the track, but I think the interesting thing about all of this is that they continue to do the social media, which got them there. Mm-hmm. And I mean, from everything that I've heard, they're going to continue to do that. And I don't know if I want them to make that part of the show. Right. I think I still want to go and watch it on YouTube.
I agree.
Yeah. It's funny too. If you've watched the new episode that dropped yesterday, they're even talking about it. They're like, oh, we got another camera guy and they just gave us new equipment to do the vlogs now. And it's like, apparently audio is an issue for TNT, so we got to do better now. So they were kind of like hamming it up for that.
Throwback episode.
Yeah. Did you guys watch that last episode of The Elite?
Yeah.
Because the cut up scene where they initially announced those dates that came out today, but the way they cut it up, I'm sorry, but like Cody Rhodes is his comedic timing with anything these guys do backstage will always make me just laugh my ass off. I die. Like when they were doing the tickets for All Out, did you guys see his promo where he's like, we had issues with this and we had it. And then like all of a sudden Brandy's just in there and he's like, I guarantee. No, you don't. I almost guarantee. No. Good luck, everybody. Like, just like that shit. Like, I'm dying laughing at it. And like when he's in the back, like just, yeah, sold out. And they're all just like, yeah. And he's just like overselling the shit out of it. Like, he just makes me laugh. And I love it. I really do love it. And that's a big deal. Sold out in 30 minutes, their very first show, October 2nd in Washington, D.C. And you notice they're not playing the major arenas.
Well, it's smart. You'd rather, I mean, this is the thing that happens with comedy as well. You'd rather work in a small venue and sell it out so that the demand is there than work in a huge room that's half full.
Right.
And right now that's the difference between what they're doing and what's happening with WWE, because WWE can't fill the rooms anymore.
Right. Well, and the interesting thing will be because, Cody Rhodes said like probably 6 months ago now, he said it that, yeah, we've toured some stadiums. Why wouldn't we? Not saying we're going to do that now, but we've toured them someday. Yeah. And then you hear that when All Out went on sale that so many, I think it was like over 50,000 people had the pre-sale code. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like they said, the ticket outlet said like there was more people trying to buy tickets to that than WrestleMania this last year. So it makes you wonder, like, yeah, they doing all this, but when they do their first big show, and if they do a big one in a stadium, and they like, that's going to be where you see WWE really sweat.
Oh yeah,
because if they can sell out a stadium.
Well, I think their benefit, and I'm probably wrong, but I think a benefit that they have and an advantage that they have is they kind of have a home field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they could, and I'm sure they couldn't do it for free, but I'm kind of probably pretty sure that his dad's going to give him a little bit of a discount to hold a show there.
Right.
So then ticket prices won't be as much for you or I, so there's a trickle down effect there where it might be a more affordable show, still in a stadium, still men and women that we love, and I agree. That's I think where they start to feel the pressure.
Right. Yeah. Plus, there's still some names that are coming that have not yet. Obviously, the big one, and again, I know Adam's big mark. The villain Marty Scurll. We know that's happening. It's just when. Metzler says fall. Today, I read a report that they're actually saying November is when the contract ends.
Yeah.
But he's coming. He is coming. And it's gonna, that's gonna be a huge one too. When it's gonna be like a Moxley when he comes out, the place is gonna go nuts. They're gonna lose their stuff. You know what I mean? So,
are you 100% sold that he's going to AEW?
Yeah. Why they wouldn't keep him in the Being Elite intro if he wasn't? I think Flip Gordon eventually will be there too.
Mm-hmm. I think Flip kicks him out of Villain Enterprises. That's where they're going to work with that. I only asked that because, if Marty and Deonna Purrazzo are still an item, right?
Okay, so here's the deal. I don't know.
If it's stuff like that, then never mind.
No. It's nothing like that. It's just I don't want to overspeak things I don't know 100% about, but I do know. Obviously, the Briscoe and Big A show with Wes and him have been kind of working out lately.
Oh. Nice.
Down in Orlando.
Wait, so we're like 2 degrees away of separation from Marty Scurll, and you're not even you can't even help a brother out. He could call me a numpty and hang up the phone, and it would make my year.
I just found this out like in Waterloo, actually. So this is still news to me. But apparently they've been talking, hanging out a little bit at the gym. He's been having Wes help him work out. Because if you guys have seen Wes lately, dude's shredded.
Yeah.
Dude's in shape right now. So. But there may have been a mention of that might not be a thing anymore. Again, I don't want to say anything for sure. I don't know if it's here or there, but there was maybe a mention to me that was not a thing. So.
Okay, because that's the only so if that the only reason why I brought the question up is because I thought there was something there, and sometimes that could guide somebody differently than. So, listen, I'm happy wherever Marty goes. See, here's the thing. Here's a nice thing. See, I have a CM Punk tattoo, that's what it is. So I'm gonna get, I think, a Marty umbrella right there. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get a Jericho thing maybe over here or up here somewhere, I'm just gonna kind of fill them up with I'm gonna fill this hands knuckles up with wrestling logos. I think.
Hell yeah, that's the other thing too is you got Jericho leading that squad. Who's a legend. I mean, that's a huge name get for them. When that's your first big sign is Jericho and it's a 3-year deal.
Mm-hmm. And it's probably the best Chris Jericho that we've seen because he kind of, whether he wants to admit it or not, he did somewhat have an axe to grind. Obviously, as you could hear how vocally frustrated he was about the Kevin Owens storyline that he should have had the championship for. The championship should have been in that picture too.
Yeah.
And then getting bumped down. I think that was probably the end of it for him when he realized that no matter. Yeah, I'm a big Jericho mark too. So it's like 1A, 1B with him and Punk with me. So it's however, whatever. One day I might be feeling different, and I flip flop the two guys. But I think with Jericho, he brings so much veteran experience and is able to work with the young stars that they have there to help develop them. And if you would pull a guy and not knocking Goldberg, but if you pull a guy like Goldberg in, great, sells tickets, sells tickets. But is he really going to help train and leave a mark on the rest of the wrestlers there in the industry? You know what I mean? I don't. They're different styles. And that's not a knock on Goldberg. It's just Jericho is so multi-talented when it comes to mic work, when it comes to just in-ring, presence and knowledge. And just, he brings so much to the table that he can hand down to that next generation. And I think because he's been so vocal about, it's not really even about him or the Bucks. It's about Hangman Page. It's about, Jungle Boy. It's about MJF. It's about the younger, demographic because they got to hit that younger demographic, and when you have somebody that can, that is already selfless enough to think like that. And I'm not saying, listen, we're all a little selfish, I'm sure, but that tells me already that they kind of, I don't want to say that they have, listen, WWE is a powerhouse. So we can't never really truly knock them down, but I feel like that's AEW's advantage right now. They have a guy like Jericho that's seen the ECW, WCW, worked New Japan, where, you worked all over the world, bringing 25 years of experience, and now he's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants this as a passion project to work. He doesn't have to be doing this at all. He could have went right back to WWE, probably made more money, and just been given a script every week. Oh,
and he doesn't even want to. His main game right now is Fozzy. That's his thing. Yeah. He's a rock star now. It's funny though, because you are right. You got a great teacher in that for this great young locker room where, I'll knock on Goldberg. I don't even give a shit. If he did a training seminar, it'd be 5 minutes. Spear, jackknife. You got questions? Because it's all I know. I'm Goldberg. I'm pretty sure Gilbert had more moves.
Goldberg is definitely short term, whereas you get a guy like Jericho, and it's definitely long term. And to be honest, Goldberg's. I think this is the last deal, his last hurrah at SummerSlam anyway.
Yeah, his kids saw him be a damn hero. We're done.
Yeah.
No more.
Ziggler tried ripping off Jericho today. Speaking of coming out, and I'm sorry I'm ruining this for you, but
no, you're fine.
How he came out like Goldberg, they hit Goldberg's music. He came out with security and stuff. And you know what, Ziggler, you still can't even do that right because Jericho did it better 22 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever.
Right.
Oh gosh. Oh, and just another thing that made me just squeal like a little girl tonight was in the tag match between New Day and Bryan and Rowan. As it was coming to the conclusion, Rowan holds up the ring steps as Woods is going to make a dive, and it was beautiful. It was just, I love that kind of, because Adam, I'm a heel fan.
So am I. Yeah, so am I.
And just that just makes me feel warm inside when that kind of stuff happens because it's so unexpected and it's so beautiful.
Oh, absolutely.
That's exactly how I'm going to feel when in AEW MJF gets the title. I'm going to just be like, yes, because I just want to hear him run his mouth as a champ. I can't wait for him to do it. But that's the other thing with AEW that I like is you're kind of getting future storylines already. Like the whole Jericho, like, I want my thank you. I want it now. Well, and then you get those little videos with Cody back where he's like, hey, this guy's kind of an asshole. You know what I mean? So it's like you already know these two are probably going to have a feud eventually down the line, and yeah, I'm pumped. I'm excited for it. And I think SummerSlam is going to be a really good show too. My hope is that we see a Sasha Banks return.
Do you think that that's going to happen?
No, but something crazy should happen Sunday. And why not that? Because, I mean, what?
Heyman's turning, man. That's the crazy thing that nobody's right. Heyman's turning on Lesnar.
You think?
He has to protect his investment. His investment right now is Seth Rollins. I'm sorry. His investment would be the entire Raw roster, right? I feel like that's the only reason why they actually mentioned it on the show. He kind of said, well, I got a little stroke around here now. I honestly feel, and that's kind of what I was hinting at earlier. We might not know how it's going. I just didn't want to come out and say it. So here's my prediction. Yeah, I think Heyman's turning because right now, Lesnar's just decimating Seth Rollins, who was really supposed to be, picked as like the golden boy of Raw, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're running the show, eventually you have to protect the people who were there. And this is the first time we've kind of really seen him and Brock butt heads a little bit. Not butt heads, but he's telling Brock Lesnar to back off. You never really see that. And like I said, I feel like the promo that he cut on Monday, he was almost advocating more for Seth Rollins than he was for Brock Lesnar.
Well, and you saw that when he was doing the spots with the chairs on him the other week. I mean, that's the first time you've seen Heyman actually be like, stop.
Right.
Stop. He's hurt. You know what I mean? Where that would never happen. Heyman would just be sitting there and laughing like, yeah, do it again. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can see that. And the thing is, they've been talking about him turning on Brock for a while. And they've also just been talking about adding other people under that Heyman stable. And nothing's really ever happened with it. So it'll be interesting to see now too, because they also kind of teased on that Raw reunion a few weeks back, when Bischoff was on. I don't remember who he was talking to, but he was like, "You can always come on over to the Blue brand."
Yeah.
So you get that tease of like these two are going to go head to head now eventually as the brand lead, GMs, I guess you can call them glorified GMs, whatever their actual titles are. But yeah, so you get the tease that those two might end up being more on screen and actually running the show, and the talents kind of like they used to with like Teddy and Laurinaitis and Bischoff the first time, and Steph and Shane with the invasion angle and all that crap. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Heyman.
I kind of hope that Heyman is on TV more. I kind of hope to not see Bischoff so much. Because as much as I, he was good in WCW, but when he went back over to WWE, I wasn't feeling it, and it feels like his heart wasn't in it, and honestly, I don't think his heart's in it now.
You weren't into his awkward, kind of creepy kiss on Stephanie McMahon when he came back?
I mean, it's iconic, but no.
You weren't down with that?
No.
Kissing his competitor's daughter in the locker room?
Yeah, why? Come on. I'm old. I don't need this shit. So let's take a little detour now and brag a little bit about the show we're going to go to on Sunday, Ace.
Yeah, Adam, we're me and the Mass Comedian X are going to be at a show Sunday, which means we're going to neither one of us will get to watch SummerSlam live.
Well, we won't get to watch the whole thing because it's only going to be 9 hours.
I won't, just because I got to drive home too that hour.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So I'll miss it, but yeah, we're going to a F1rst Wrestling show. I don't know if you know much about F1rst Wrestling out of Minneapolis, but
I'll pop up on screen some of the folks that are going to be there.
Perfect. Yeah, do that now. Yeah, there we go. So Gangrel, Best Friends. We got Kip Saban, Penelope Ford, Jimmy Havoc, which he will actually be in a hardcore anything goes match that night. Yeah, Solo from Chikara. What is it? Is it Allison Ray from NWA? Is that her name? Okay, and then we got Glacier. Are they really billing Glacier from AEW? I thought that was that one. I thought that was the one off.
Well, here's the thing. When they put it up on their Facebook page, I said you saw him on All Out. And he was in the pre-show, right?
Yeah, so, he was on their first Battle Royal.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
Or no, that's like, the first. He was.
Dude, it's the same thing as with comedy. I was in a commercial, so now I have a commercial credit. And this is Adam. This is the truth.
That's awesome.
Here's the real deal. I was in a Pauly Shore documentary for 6 seconds, uncredited, of course. And then also I happened to be watching. There's a documentary on Gilbert Gottfried that I watched on Amazon, and I watched it because I worked with the guy for 2 years in a row, and lo and behold, here I come up, and I'm just watching, and I'm like, hey, that's me for 2 seconds. So my cameos in these documentaries, while more poignant, have gotten shorter.
You know what I love though is in that documentary for Pauly Shore, like I watched it and I was like, oh look, it's my buddy. And then like right after that, it was the show in Rochester where he ends up like hooking up with the booker, and it was like, oh, I know her. She's not cool. That figures that would happen. But yeah, no. Who were you excited to see at that show though?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. Because like for me, I'm a best friends Mark. I love those guys.
I like the best friends. I'm excited. So I did a little research, and I think that Eric Cannon, who is the one that's going to wrestle Jimmy Havoc, I think he's the one that's kind of involved in F1rst Wrestling.
Yeah, he is, and I think he trained with Kennedy and Davari at their school up there.
Okay. So I'm excited to see that match, and again I go back to the initial story about Henning and Mike Enos. This is in a bar, Adam.
Oh yeah, it's in a brewery.
In a brewery, and so I just have visions that this is going to bring me back to a fond era where anything is going to happen, and it's just going to be wild as shit, and I'm going to love it.
There's something not only nostalgic, but there's a warming feeling when you go to an indie show. And I know people knock it, people, it's bingo halls and bars and stuff, whatever, but there is just some sort of like, there's something refreshing every once in a while, just going kind of where it all started, where you can kind of be a little off the cuff. You don't have to follow this exact script. You can kind of go out and test the waters a little bit more. I like that a lot, like comedy. Like I'm glad that you're relating a lot to comedy. I'm sure there's more to that, and I'm going to leave vague for the audience out there, but I relate a lot of stuff because I'm a big comedy fan. That has a lot of jokes that I'll never tell on stage because I don't have balls. But I compare typically everything to comedy or music, because they're similar in the way that they're booked. I was actually calling All Out when people were saying, well, it's this, it's that. I was like, listen, it's not like the Super Bowl, like, you know what I mean? Or even WrestleMania. Like, I don't compare it to like the Super Bowl of wrestling. I've always compared it to more of like a music festival, like a Bonnaroo or a Lollapalooza or something like that. You know what I mean? And even with AEW, I was, with their first All Out before it was AEW, I kind of said the same thing where it was like, well, it's almost like the one avenue where everybody from different record labels can go to, and just have the one-off thing where you never know what kind of like mashups you're going to get, or people playing with each other, cameos, and then they, to kind of go back to wherever they came from, that was what was cool about All Out at that time, or All In rather at that time.
That actually, for me, was what made the Jericho Cruise that first year so awesome, is because we had such a mix. You had the elite guys, you had ROH talent, you had Impact talent, you had legends, and they were all mixing it up in the ring. The last match of that whole cruise was literally Impact versus, they claimed it to be ROH, but it was really the elite, and it was amazing. That was with the one where all of the elite dressed as Mario characters. And Kenny Omega was mad because he couldn't be Princess Peach. He wanted to be. He was the mushroom instead. But I mean, it was an amazing time because here we are seeing I almost want to say we got to see the Bucks versus Briscoes on the boat, which the Briscoe brothers, that was actually cool. Seeing the Briscoe brothers actually have a match against each other while we were on the boat, that was cool. And they did a great job selling it because it was in their little tournament of the ship. So like they knew, and they did a promo the night before, like, I'll kick your ass tomorrow, brother, then punches him in the ring and shit. But I mean, it was cool because it was such a mix where this next time around, I'm a little, like I told Mass Community X on the last episode, I'm a little worried that this next ship is going to be pretty controlled AEW wise. Because it's not how it was last year. It is going to be exclusively the AEW talent.
And I told him, and it's going to be over a Wednesday night. So the indication has been that they're probably going to do the show live from the boat.
I didn't even think about that. That's actually a pretty genius idea.
Yeah, because that would be the night before we come back to port in Miami.
So cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And actually today, because I mean, they've already announced a lot of big names, Moxley, Cody, the Bucks, I think Hangman. Havoc, Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, MJF, all these guys are coming. But also today in the comedy world, because Brad Williams was supposed to be the host, which I'm sure both you are very familiar with Brad Williams, right? Mm-hmm. I know you definitely are a mass comedian.
Shorty, yeah.
Apparently today or in the last couple of days, he had to pull out something. I don't know why, but this has happened last year. A couple of comedians had to pull out. They confirmed it today. Gabriel Iglesias is now filling that role.
Oh, wow.
So Fluffy is now going to be on the Jericho cruise.
Jeez, that's awesome.
By the way, after All Out, could Pulled Out be the next pay-per-view?
But where does it go? Where does it go after Pull Out?
Yeah.
Well, I think there's going to be one called Just the Tip. And I'll pay for that ticket.
Right. It's going to go south real quick.
Exactly. But yeah, so that's going to be that. We're going to that show on Sunday, though. So that's going to be cool. We're open to bit some videos, some photos. It'll be the first time that you and I have made an appearance at a show together since the show started. So that'll be fun, JR.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, comedian.
Oh, don't give it away.
Damn it.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out whether I should ball up my mask and stick it in my pocket. I don't know if he probably didn't tell you this. So when he was down at Hall of Fame a couple of weeks ago, I got done with my day job, came home, and got a call on Friday afternoon. Hey, what are you doing tonight? Nothing. You wouldn't want to open for David Arquette, would you? Well, yeah, I'll open for David Arquette in a heartbeat. And so he did a question and answer with RJ City, and it was one of the most fun things I ever saw in my life. He's
a Pittsburgh boy too, isn't he?
I think he
came through because I know he was wrestling out of Pittsburgh for a while.
Yeah.
In the independent wrestling cartel, I believe, down here.
Yeah. But holy cow, is he funny? Is he both of them so cool and very nice to me. But the booker says to me, well, you don't need to stay if you don't want to. And I'm like, fuck you. He says, well, we'll just give you your check and you can go home. I'm like, you can give me my check, but I'm not leaving. This is fun. I love it.
That's a fun champ right there.
Yeah, man. But then they were going up to northern Minnesota to a casino way the hell up there for Fortune Bania. That holy cow, did they have a lineup? They had Sting and holy cow, Alberto Del Rio and Jimmy Hart and God, I can't remember everybody. I had a list of because we talked a little bit about it last week, but
yeah, I know ODB and Victoria were there.
That's right.
Telling me that when she was in, because there was a few of the people in Waterloo as far as talent that were driving from there up to that
Ultimo.
show.
Yeah, Ultimo Dragon went up there, and Medusa wasn't down at the Hall of Fame, but she was up there, and oh my God, it was just amazing. Oh, Honky Tonk Man. Yeah. So the surprise. He hates Honky Tonk Man, doesn't he? But the surprise tag team match was David Arquette and RJ City against Colt Cabana and his surprise partner, the Honky Tonk Man. And I just think to myself, it's like, I mean, I'm sure there were a lot of people that went up to that show, but that is like, I live in Minneapolis, and that's like close to 4 hours from here. And it's still in Minnesota. So it's way the hell up there. Yeah, that was so our little show. So I ball up my mask, I do my act, and then I stick it in, and then the show's over. I take it on. I say, David, would you like to do a little promo with me? And he's like, why the hell aren't you wearing that on stage? I says, because I'm kind of a dick. So I said, please, and he did a little promo with me, and it was fun, and but yeah, so we're just like everybody else, we're trying to have fun and trying to get this going, and I'm still trying to figure out whether I want to wear the mask in there or not.
I say wear the mask. I vote mask.
But here's the problem.
Well, what's the comfort level though, too?
That's just it. Here's the problem. The mask is a little small from when he bought it.
Can you see that it's like about 10 pounds a head and a 5-pound mass.
Which honestly, I was going to maybe do it, and then I just got busy and couldn't, and never went back to the table. But they were selling Ultimo masks, and I was going to buy you one.
Well,
but again, like I said, I just ended up getting sidetracked with other things and never made it back to their table. But my guess is there will be some masks for sale at this show. I
don't know. This Star one is pretty good, and to be honest, I can't find any more. So I can't find one like this. I can't find a bigger one, and I'm certainly not going to. I mean, our show is not big enough yet that I can have one special made. God knows I'm spending it. We're blowing enough money. Look at that logo. That is a kick-ass logo, and
this whole interface is smooth.
Dude, this is you can be doing this. It's a platform called StreamYard. And Ace has used it with Briscoe, and it's really slick.
It really is.
And if you guys were doing shows with Google Hangouts, that's gone now as of August 1st. And a lot of people that were using Hangouts have come over to this platform just because it's so easy to use and easy to work with.
Is there a cost on a subscription, or is it free?
I paid for the subscription. It's $20 a month, but I'm doing 3 other projects with it.
Oh, it's well worth it then.
But if you're interested in this, if you pay that $20, you can get to do these branding, like you see our wonderful logo, these cool backdrops, all that stuff. The free version, you don't get to do
our intro. I'll play our intro. Now,
that's some fancy shit.
Don't tell anybody, but that's the old World Championship Wrestling Saturday night theme. But don't tell anybody.
I don't know NATO. I don't know NATO Jenkins, but but I think we just did like a 2-minute ad here for StreamYard, didn't we?
We basically did.
It feels like we're kind of giving them a little bit of some royalties here.
They so far have not had anybody from StreamYard even come and look, which is fine because I'll use it and then I'll buy them. Once we become YouTube rich, I will use all the money and buy StreamYard and then kick everybody off of it because I'm kind of an elitist too. As Groucho Marx said, I would never want to be a part of a club that would have me as a member.
It's one of the best lines ever.
That is awesome.
Oh my God, yes. Well, we are at 1 hour and 30 minutes. Well, I let a little bit run at the beginning there, but
again, sorry for being late, everybody.
Don't be worried. People will be watching this for years after they'll watch this.
What I'll do is I'll take a picture of me in the outfit at the bachelor party, and the next episode we do, I'll send it to you so you can throw it up.
Oh my God, yes, because that's going to be beautiful. Gosh, Adam, it was fantastic to have you on with us.
Thank you.
Very awesome to meet you. Very fun talking with you. I'd love to have you on anytime you'd like to come on with us.
I appreciate that.
Yes. And let everybody know where they can find you and Josh's podcast, the Hoots Cast.
Let me see. I think he's on Instagram and Twitter at the Hoots Podcast. I don't do social media just because I think it rots your brain. I don't want followers, stalkers. I don't need, you remember when we were growing up and our parents would tell us, hey, if anyone's following you, make sure you call the cops. Now we're begging people, follow me here. Like, I don't need that. So no, but it's at the Hoots Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and I think find Josh on Facebook, and I think he posts stuff there. I don't know if his profile is public or private. Our stuff is the show's all over any podcasting platform, so you can search it that way. It's a really fun time. The segment with my daughter really is what makes it. It kind of completes the show. Josh and I kind of don't take it too serious. We talk about what we like. We rarely knock the product down. But the fun part is when we bring, my daughter in and she kind of gives her take on wrestling. Because then, it's different when we're the old grizzled, bitter vets that have been watching this for 30 some years, 40 years, whatever. But right. Yeah. But what, when you're still young and it's not like when we were young, when we really kind of had a lot of wool pulled over our eyes, or it was like, oh, that's so fake, or it was like, oh my God, it's more in the know, there's no, so it's understanding it's entertainment. She gives me a different perspective for different storylines and angles that maybe I wouldn't see. So it's fun kind of bringing her in and having, a little 10-minute session there. But other than that, you guys can find me hiding out in my house. I don't like to go out. The world is scary. And Mass Comedian X, Ace, thank you. I'm very humbled to be on. I really appreciate it. This is the first outside, I rarely do these. Don't get asked that often either, but I think because people know I don't do them. But for you guys, anytime, it'd be my pleasure to come back. I had a blast on here.
Yeah, I love how you always say that, because every time I have a show, I'm like, you're coming on it, right? Like you can't say no.
I can't.
This is happening.
I'm contractually obligated at this point.
Yes, and to be honest, guys, make sure you listen to the Hoot podcast. And again, AJ, when she comes on and does that, it's amazing. I've told you many times when I listen to you guys and listen to her talk, like she knows what she's talking about. She's smart, she's entertaining, and it is a really fun perspective to hear it from such a young fan. But someone who actually kind of thinks of it like we do too a little bit. Mm-hmm. So it's awesome. And anytime we can have her on a show, I'm always for it. I told you that. I'm like, you guys should be doing your own little father-daughter thing, but it's up to you.
Well, I already had. I think my days with female co-hosts are probably over. But and I do want to give Josh a lot of credit too, because Josh has been working very, very hard for a lot of years now, and Josh is an incredible on-air personality. He busts his ass when it comes to transcribing shows. And I mean, this kid, and I don't mean to use the term kid, but this man transcribes, I think upwards of 10 shows a week. He's transcribing the whole G1 tournament while he's transcribing Impact, Ring of Honor, or I think he might still be doing Ring of Honor, but SmackDown, Raw, NXT UK. I mean, I go to Pro Wrestling Transcriptions. That's where you can find all his work there. So I'm really more of just like the third wheel. Like, they're the stars of the show. I come on, talk some shit every once in a while, and then kind of walk.
Right. Well, and we want to.
It's been so much fun, man.
Yeah, and we definitely. I'm going to reach out to Josh too. We want to have him come on here as well, just because I love hanging out and talking with him online when we get that chance. He's great. And he's a great wrestling mind too. I mean, he's done it with us.
All right. So. We're gonna make sure that we put all the links to those podcasts down in our comments as well, so people can track them down.
Awesome.
And listen to, because I listened to a couple of your shows and they're fantastic. So
thank you. That's
Adam Daley.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome to have you on with us again.
Thank you.
Ace. I will see you on Sunday.
Yes.
And everybody else.
Hey, wait, us on Facebook, because we're gonna go live on Facebook at the show a few times.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, like us on Facebook. Love us on Facebook. Anyway, point being, if we don't see you on Sunday, we will definitely see you next Tuesday at about the same time, 9:10, 9:15, somewhere in that neighborhood. Ladies and gentlemen, please give us a subscribe and a like, and we'll see you again. This is the Mass Comedian X-Cast.